Hi, my name is Sarah and I'm going to be talking about the IUD Hormonal. So my device is the IUD Hormonal, and those include Mirena, Skyla, and Kylena. IUD stands for intrauterine device, and it is a small plastic device in the shape of a T that is inserted by a doctor into the uterus through the cervix via the vagina. It then may remain in place for 3 to 10 years, during which time pregnancy is effectively prevented. People with a female body use this device. The IUD helps prevent pregnancy, and most researchers and medical professionals worldwide consider today's IUDs to be a safe, effective, and hassle-free method of contraception with very few side effects. It offers no protection from sexually transmitted infections and is usually recommended for women in monogamous relationships with a lower risk of STIs. The method can work for both long-term and short-term options. Mirena and Kylena can protect against pregnancy for up to 5 years, and Skyla for up to 3 years. They can be removed at any time, and fertility quickly returns. Mirena costs approximately $200 to $700 for insertion, or $3 to $12 a month over a full term. Skyla costs approximately $200 to $700 for insertion, or $5 to $19 per month for a full term. Lastly, Kylena is a new form of IUD, but it typically costs between $500 to $900 or $8 to $17 per month over a full term. So something that I find unique or different about this device is that it can last for up to 10 years without having to be replaced. So it is very convenient in that you don't need to run to the store every month to pick up a new prescription, set up appointments, or wait a certain amount of time until you can be intimate with your partner, like if you chose to have surgery instead of using this method. So what does my device look like? I have 2 pictures here. So the first one down here, that's what it'll look like if it's actually like inside like someone's body, but so it's like right here, and then it has the little T. These are the fallopian tubes, and then it has this string you can't really see that comes down through the cervix, and that's what's going to prevent or try to help prevent sperm swimming up to try to get into the tubes to fertilize an egg. But then up here, because I sometimes have a hard time figuring out like what a thing like a product or like an item looks like to scale off of a diagram, I included this picture because that kind of shows you better like depiction of what it'll be like the actual size of it, if that makes sense. So it's about like a little bit size of your hand, like not even, it kind of fits into the palm of your hand. So that's what it looks like. So the IUD hormonal works through the IUD containing a small amount of progesterone-like hormone that is slowly released into the uterus and contributes to pregnancy prevention by thickening the cervical mucus, reducing the passage of sperm cells from the vagina. I would categorize the IUD hormonal as very effective because there is essentially a non-existent failure rate. That is due to the fact that it is not up to the individual who uses it, typically someone with a female body, to have to remember to take a pill. Rather, the IUD kind of acts on its own. So 3 advantages to the device are that it is highly effective, there is no disruption of intimacy, and once inserted, it is a relatively inexpensive method when calculated on a monthly basis. I think it is important that it is highly effective because the purpose of an IUD is to prevent pregnancy, which it does. Furthermore, it still allows the partners to be intimate whenever they like and do not have to be overly careful when they choose to be intimate with each other. Lastly, having a contraceptive that is relatively low in cost is important because those that cannot afford to spend a lot of money on contraceptives to prevent pregnancy are able to use this. Also, it may be free to those depending on healthcare, where they receive it, and their circumstances. 3 disadvantages to the device are that it includes spotting and heavy periods. A small percentage of women experience spontaneous expulsion of the IUD during the first year use, which requires reinsertion, and it requires a trained medical professional for insertion and reinsertion. I think it is important to note that it causes spotting and heavy periods because the individual using the device will need to be prepared and equipped with the correct feminine products in case those do occur. Next, women should be aware of any possibilities that happen, such as expulsion, so they're educated in what to do if it does happen. Lastly, since it does require a trained medical professional for insertion and removal, they will have to set up an appointment to have it done, which can be inconvenient or uncomfortable for some. So if I had a friend that wanted to use this device, one tip I would tell them to maximize the chances of this device being effective is to figure out her price range or how much she's able to afford on an IUD. So it helps to have an idea so you can narrow down the options that work best for you financially, then talk with your doctor specifically about the device. I think the process would go a lot faster if you have that part figured out, because then you can set up an appointment with your doctor and get an IUD inserted at a faster rate than if you came in not really having anything figured out. And something I did want to clarify real quick is that at the end when I was talking about how it could be effective, since there is virtually a non-existent failure rate, it's really up to you to talk to your doctor and get it in as fast as you can, so then that way it can be most effective. So hopefully that makes more sense.